Thanks for being here. I guess let's just spend time chatting. Any questions you may have, I'll do my best to answer for you.
Well, if you could start off just by introducing yourself and just giving some information. We all know who you are, but for all of those people out there in that wonderful world of anime and film and television who don't, so there was weird putting that out there.
My name is Mignogna. I've been a veteran. That means 100 years or more. Voice actor. I've done some directing work as well. I'm a music composer, producer. But mostly voice actor. Hi! Welcome to the party. Nice hat. You're tall. I've been a voice actor for over 100 anime series and probably 20 or 30 video games. Probably most well known for Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist. And then the list goes from there. Broly in Dragon Ball Z, Kurt Weber in Fullmetal Panic, Tamaki Suo in Oran High School, Zero in Vampire Knight, Fai in Tsubasa, Hikaru Chijo in Macross, Tsugaji in Sayuki, Death Scythe in Soul Eater, and on that goes. So I don't bore you with that. But I've been doing it for voice acting for probably 12 or 13 years now. I started quite by accident at ADV Films in Houston. I was working on a video production with a friend of mine. He said, "Hey, you have a lot of experience in acting, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "You don't audition for this place in town. They do this Japanese cartoons, and they need actors." I was like, "Really? You mean like Speed Racer? That kind of thing?" And he said, "Yeah." So I went and auditioned, and ADV was no bigger than this room at the time, and they were just doing this thing they do, and I auditioned, and I got cast, and then thanks be to God, I just kept getting cast and getting other opportunities to work with ADV. And I met people with Funimation in Dallas, and they invited me up to do some work with them. So I started working with Funimation and ADV, and then I met people in Los Angeles. Started doing, I forgot about the characters on Naruto and Bleach and those characters. But so I've been very blessed in my career. I've never expected to be doing what I'm doing, but I really enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, open up the floor for questions.
Yeah.
With the couple of biggest players like Geneon and ADV that's been pretty much stopping subbing, and it seems like Saban's been sorry.
Funimation?
No, Bandai.
Oh,
Bandai has been going more towards subs. So it's been harder to find work.
I recently, and by recently I mean about a year and a half ago, I moved out to Los Angeles. It wasn't a permanent move, but I went out there. My young lady lives out there. She's an actress out there. And so it's really funny because I moved right at the moment that ADV suddenly started having trouble. It was the weirdest thing. It was like quite, wow, what are the odds? None of us that are, voice actors don't usually know much about what goes on behind the scenes. We show up and we do our thing, and there are all kinds of political things going on and business-related things going on in the background, and we know nothing about them. So I had no idea what was happening with ADV. As of right now, they have restructured. There is a new company in Houston that's many of the same people that were with ADV are with the new company. They're not doing a lot of work, but they are doing some work, and they're trying to build up their portfolio of properties to get more, to be doing more. But quite honestly, Funimation is kind of the big stick. They're the big kid on the block now. They have a large percentage of the anime that comes out. And I'm working on several shows with them. I've been kind of one of their home team for several years now. And there's a lot of work in Los Angeles, as you can imagine. That's kind of where entertainment happens for the most part. And between the anime work and the video game work and opportunities, and between doing music work and some other projects I'm working on, and convention appearances as much as I can. I'm staying really busy, and I'm very grateful for that. I love what I do, and I don't know where the industry is going. I certainly hope that the people that make those decisions can figure out the right decisions to make to get things back on course. I think we all know that the illegal downloading and the piracy stuff is devastating, and I'm hoping that before it's too late, we'll figure out a way around that, and we'll still be able to do what we're doing a few years from now. Yes, sir.
I had a question. As a voice actor, I know for some American animations, some of the artists like to be in the room while the voice actor is working so they can examine his face motions and stuff. Does that happen at Funimation when you're in the studio, a couple of artists are there sketching you and taking notes?
That's an awesome question, but no, that has never happened, and I doubt that it would.
I mean, do you ever get to meet the artists who work in the animation?
I have gotten to meet some artists, yeah. I actually had the privilege to go to Tokyo a few years ago, and I actually I wanted to do two things in Tokyo. I wanted to sit in on a recording session, on an actual anime recording session, because I wanted to see them do it the way they did it. They do it very differently than we do. In case you don't know, when they record basically what look like storyboards. The animation is not finished. The entire cast is together in one room, and they do it very much like we do prelay cartoons, where the whole cast is in a circle or in a room, and they're stepping up to the mics, and they're doing their lines, and they assemble the episode from an audio standpoint. The director assembles the episode, the characters' performances, and then they submit that to the artists to finish the animation based on what the actors did. When we get it, the animation is already done. So there is no latitude for performance outside of the mouth movements or the facial expressions of the characters. That stuff is locked in stone, and our job, which, to be honest with you, is actually more difficult than prelay. Our job is to deliver a believable performance while still matching the very strict confines of the mouth movements of the character. So I've met some artists who've done some things, but that side of it never enters into what we do, because from a dubbing standpoint, the characters and their facial expressions and their behaviors are already finished and set in stone, and they can't be changed. That's one of the very strict guidelines of a lot of the Japanese companies is you don't touch the animation. You don't change one frame. And the only concession is if there's a show that's going to be on television, and like, for instance, somebody gets their head blown off or something, and they're like, okay, that needs to be, trimmed a little bit for the audience that we're showing it to, or signage that needs to be put into English or something for the purpose of the audience knowing what it says. But there isn't any changing done to the animation. So it's our job to basically follow the facial expressions in the animation that was already set up by the artist.